can't believe we didn't ask about on media day. How do you plan to use Paul off of the mat?
Paul Skenes. Yeah, I think the primary thing obviously is the pitching, and certainly excited about him being at the front of the rotation this year. And that's, as I said, where his life's headed. He's going to be a major league pitcher for a long time. Obviously, he has tremendous power and hitting ability, and discipline with that. I think it's probably finding a balance, early on, and then also fitting that into the construct of the team and using everybody's skills. But great faith in his ability to drive the baseball and take quality at bats, and so he'll definitely hit. But figuring how that works and what's best for him and what's best for the team probably will take some sorting out. And we've been able to do a good job the last couple weeks of kind of moving towards that. He took some good at-bats on Monday in our scrimmage. And, the plan will be Sunday. He'll probably, hit in the scrimmage on Sunday.
Just recovery being the issue?
I think just being diligent about what's best for him. And, we're going to want elite pitchers to want to choose LSU for a long time because we treat them right and take care of their bodies and have their interest in mind. And it's a good example of that.
Where are you all at in this phase of practice? What are the goals? What are you hoping to see?
I think we identified a pathway or process to winning with this team, and then really try to play to that blueprint and get them exposed to the things we're doing well along the way to that blueprint and things we need to do better, and to just continually reemphasize those in how we train. And I think the clarity of that for this team seems to be really good. And, we'll keep working towards that and really simplify the messaging and simplify the things that we need to execute to win. So we'll kind of keep going down that path.
What makes Alex such a valuable piece for pitchers at catcher?
Yeah, he's it's one of the best throwing arms. I don't know that that's always the most important thing, but it always catches everybody's attention. He's one of the best throwing arms of a college catcher that I've ever seen. He's a good receiver. I think we have multiple catchers that are good receivers, but he's a very good receiver. He does a good job getting into a squat, presenting the target well. I think he's an outstanding blocker, which gives the pitcher the confidence to throw their best pitch or their kill pitch really, really well, knowing that he's going to get the job done in blocking. And then I think probably the thing that I've appreciated the most is he's really taken that catching group kind of under his wing and is really helping those guys develop. I watched their individual defense session yesterday because the rain, we were in the cages, and it's almost like Coach Jordan's doing a great job with those guys, but they got another catching coach in Alex, and that's awesome.
What about the outfield? How's that shaping up? Left and right fielder, are those kind of up for grabs positions, or fluid like second base?
Yeah, it's still up for grabs. And again, I'm not trying to be coy with it, but I would be disrespectful to the process of building our team the right way if I was to say, hey, this guy's a starter. I think the names are the names. You guys all know and talk about them. I mean, as I mentioned, Dylan's going to play center. But then it's like you're looking at Braden Joe Barry hit 18 home runs, so he can provide some value to the team offensively. He's in a lot better shape, so he's improved defensively. He's made some nice diving plays, actually in the outfield twice in preseason scrimmages. Josh Pearson was one of the better freshmen in the SEC last year. Like if you look across to the SEC, not very many freshman position players were playing last year. I think we only came across 7, and we played 12 of the 13 teams, and that's for the whole season. So you like his experience. I really trust his ability to take good at-bats. He's a better runner than you think, which he's improved defensively there. Paxton Kling has all the ability in the world and can really impact the game on offense and defense. He's going to be in that mix as well, and it's really not limited to that. I mean, if Gavin Dugas were to get healthy, he could figure into that. I feel like I'm still leaving somebody out, and Josh Stevenson, thank you. That's a guy that started one of the games in a regional final last year. And so I think that the best defense right now is Cruz, Kling, and Stevenson. So I feel like I'm down the line in terms of how we'll probably end games and close games with those three guys out there. That's probably what I feel the best about right now. But some other guys are taking good at bats and can figure into winning. And so it is a little bit, I guess you would say, like that second base thing. I think maybe we have a few more proven commodities, in the outfield. And so we feel good about where that's at. And they're all going to play. Like, this isn't like you're going to see the same three dudes roll out there game after game, because I think they all can contribute.
How tough is it going to be to sort of manage all those pieces then, not just in the outfield, but also like at second base?
It's awesome. It's like some days you're like going like, this is all we got. And you write somebody's name in there and you just hope they can do it. That's not the case this year. And been on that side of things before. And there was even times last year with certain positions, it was like, this is what we got to do. And don't feel that way at all. So you'll never hear me complain about having too many options. I think managing it is just communication. Every player knows what my or the coaching staff's expectations are of them to execute and to be prepared. And so you give them a blueprint, help them do that really, really well. And then, guys will find spots where they can be slotted to make a valuable contribution to the team. And I've always, kind of enjoyed doing it a little bit differently. And what'll happen is I'm sure some guys will play into spots and some guys will get a little more, and some guys it'll be their time now, and some guys it might be their time in 2024. It's LSU. Like, that's how it should be. And so excited about putting it all together. I can tell you I spend a lot of time, writing out different scenarios. And we're not even to the point where you won't see one team this weekend look like a starting lineup, and that's good. That's not a bad thing. That's a good thing.
How has Tommy embraced playing in the infield and his approach, towards learning the position?
Well, he was highly motivated to do it. That's one of the reasons he came here. We just did it with Jacob Berry, who was a DH the year before, and because he showed he could play third base, he was the first college player taken in the draft. Like, probably up there is one of the main reasons he came here. And then, when you're a good athlete, I think I alluded to this last week, and you're highly motivated and you have a real plan of what you're trying to do, you can get good pretty fast. And he's pretty good. Like, this is not like hey, we're trying to make something that's not there. Last weekend, between Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Monday, he put on a clinic of playing defense at third base. And I'm really excited about how that's taken shape. Same with Jordan on the left side. I feel really, really good about where we're at right now. I feel good about the pitchers we have inducing a ton of weak contact, which makes their job in the infield a little bit easier. But he's worked really hard, and he's gotten pretty good.
What about second?
It's wide open, as we said. That could go a number of different ways, and is going to go a number of different ways. I think not that we had like an official box score of that UL Lafayette fall game, but I think 3 guys played second base during that game. Ben, Jack, and Gavin, and then we were rolling pinch hitters through there, and we turned 3 double plays and had guys setting the table for Dylan, Tommy, and all those guys. So it's just a kind of a hybrid way we're going to do it for right now, and we'll try to find sweet spots for guys, kind of no different than you do on the pitching side of it.
Does their offense give them a leg up in any situation there?
It could be a factor in deciding what we decide to do to start out a game. Yeah.
How's Gavin, you guys?
He's going to play today, barring any unforeseen circumstance, really for the first time since October. And then we just kind of see how it goes. But he was cleared by the medical and training staff to face live pitching today. So we'll see.
Was it eye surgery?
Mm-hmm.
Since you evaluated these guys in high school, with some of these freshmen, how have they sort of grown through the fall and heading into this season? I know it's early, but what are some of the differences?
I'd say talent, maybe even a little better than expected. Learning how to be a winning player on a team competing for the top, we still have some growth to do, and that's why they're here. It's like if they had some of the pieces I'm referring to figured out with their talent, they wouldn't be here. And it's exciting to put those pieces together. I think I look at small victories along the way as far as managing the zone better, staying committed to an approach, which facing some of our pitchers is not easy. And some of them are getting their lunch handed to them and then having to get back up and refine their approach and really dive into understanding mental toughness in a way they never have before. But very coachable and very talented. I think it's exciting to think about some of those guys on a team of this caliber making a significant contribution and being the foundation of 2024 and 2025. I feel great about that. They got work to do to help us be a championship caliber team though right now.
We're talking to three of your pitchers today. Bryce Collins, of course, came with you from Arizona. How have you seen him grow and develop over these years, and what do you expect out of him this year?
Yeah, it's been amazing. I saw him pitch as a 15-year-old at Newberry Park High School, and I saw him throw one breaking ball and one fastball, and I looked around to make sure John Savage from UCLA was nowhere around, and made him a priority to get him to Arizona. I thought he was the best pitcher in Southern California when he was a senior. Fortunate to get him through the draft. I think he started like the first 3 or 4 weeks at Arizona, and I closed him one game and against a good team, and he 9 up, 9 down, and really thought he was on a great track. Unfortunately got hurt. And then really you find out a lot about a person when they go through adversity, and he handled that really, really well, and then had a hiccup in the rehab with another injury. And at the end of 21 though, he started throwing bullpens again and throwing to live hitters. And I had obviously had no idea this was coming down the pipe. Really believed okay, this guy's going to round into form in 22 and be one of our key pitchers at Arizona. So when he went in the transfer portal, that was the last image in my head was yeah, we need this here. And then I thought he did a phenomenal job last year after not pitching in a game for 2 years. It was a very good stat line. And then the pitcher today, there's no comparison to the pitcher 10 months ago to the pitcher today. He's a weapon and will be used in high leverage spots against the best teams that we play, and he'll be really effective because of his growth.
Since Wes got here, just what way have you seen this pitching staff change most this offseason? Is there any one area that sticks out, and just how they've approached this offseason with the staff as a whole? Is there anything that comes to mind?
Yeah, I think the attention to detail and everything is at a heightened level because you have the best pitching coach in the world. I think that it's a perfect storm with A, added talent, B, talent that now has a new resource or new pathway to reach their potential. And the most important thing is buy-in. You have to have buy-in to get anything done in coaching. And obviously with this track record and credibility, you get that immediate buy-in. So the gains are massive. It's fun to look at some of these inter squads and just go man, how is either team going to score off of some of these guys? And I feel that off of about 8 guys. And that's a really good thing to be at a starting point. And so it's been great. I think it's, the talent is great. The development plan is great. The accountability is great. A few of them didn't have a very good day yesterday. And there's some accountability for that. And so they understand the importance of preparation. We want them to be very simple. We want them to prepare well. We want them to really believe in themselves. So in those high leverage moments, they're throwing their pitches with great conviction. We want them to get ahead in the count, and we want them to finish people off when they get ahead. So the execution part, or what we're looking for, is very clear, and then they just have a good working dynamic between coach and player of how do we get there. And watching that happen on a daily basis is awesome.
Jack Merrifield just kind of physically looks different than he did last year. What do you see from his offseason, and what is his feel for the position at second?
Yeah, I love Jack. I remember the last weekend at Vanderbilt, I want to say it was the second day, he was fielding some ground balls at second base, and I just walked out there and I was like, hey man, how you doing? You haven't played in a while. What's your thoughts on moving forward and next year? And I just expressed to him, I really want you to be back on next year's team. Not everybody is going to be back, but I really want you to come back. And he's like, Coach, LSU's my spot. That's where I'm going to be. So that was awesome. Went out in the Northwoods League. I think played every day, got a ton of confidence. And he's performed. He performed really well at LSU Eunice. And, the fall was great. And he's one of those guys that within 1 year of being in our system, offensively, defensively, is one of those guys when you tell him something once, you kind of know he's got it. Performed really well. I didn't have a high expectation of this is what he was going to be, but he'll play, and he'll contribute to winning on this team. And it's why I'm not really willing to commit like this is the second baseman because of stuff like that. It wouldn't be not only fair, but wouldn't be in our best interest to leave a guy out that like Jack that can help you win, or like Ben Napolt that can help you win, or a guy that's talented like Gavin Guidry. That makes no sense. And so they're all kind of buying in, embracing it, working really hard before practice. I think they know the potential aptitude of our pitching staff and really want to support it defensively. We're on their case all the time about the quality of the at-bats, and I think he really fits into that well.
Do you think you have an established third starter or just options right now?
Again, it's like there's no point in doing that right now because it might look different, from game to game. I think if you look at kind of what we're doing this weekend, you can kind of picture maybe the grouping that fits into that. But man, we played Monday. If you were here Monday, you saw some really high-level baseball on the mound, in the field, and at the plate. And it was Chase Shores and Christian Little getting after it. And if you have either of those guys running out on the weekend last year, you feel pretty good about that. From game 1 to game 3. So that's just 2 of 6 or 7 guys that we think can do it. You'll talk to a few of them today. Every guy you'll talk to today easily could start, on a high-level team. And so I don't think we're there yet. You may see some different things than what we did last year. Like we really had to one guy to the next, to the next, to the next. You may see one guy to another, and that's the game kind of thing this year to keep all their pitch counts up so they're interchangeable, in terms of starting and relieving. And, we'll see how that goes.
How was Christian health?
Great. He had a small injury that he had to overcome in the fall, so we didn't really see who he was in the fall. I knew that because, we just saw him at the end of the season the year before. But credit to him. I think he went home for 3 days for Christmas and stayed here the rest of the time and got himself in really good shape, rebooted the arm. He was humming it up there pretty good and throwing 4 pitches for strikes on Monday.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Thanks, Coach.